That's all your stuff. You'll get it back when you go out. If you could just sign for it. It's only regulations. There's nothing to worry about. You do understand that, don't you? Well, if you won't sign, you won't. But don't come the old soldier later saying that something's missing. Refuses to sign. Oh, countersign it, will you, Jean?
We better have that too. Come on now, don't be stupid. Come on now, you've got to have a bath and go and see the doctor. You can't go carrying that around. Oh, leave her. Take her to the bath. The police had to take it by force. They searched it, there was nothing there. They gave it back to her, minus an ear. Well, she even had it in the dock with her.
She needs a medical report, if you ask me.
That's what she's here for.
Well now, Kate, sit down. Thank you. I hope you weren't too bored by your couple of days in hospital. Anyway, I'm sure you'll be glad to know that physically you're in showroom condition. It is Kate, isn't it? Kate Bonney. Oh, well, never mind. It's a rhetorical question anyway. It's all down here. Just that most people like to have their names repeated to them. Reassures them, gives them a sense of their own identity. Well, evidently you don't need that. Good. But there's obviously something you do need. Attention, perhaps? Well, you certainly went a spectacular way about trying to get it. Suddenly going berserk in that wimpy bar where you worked. Smashing 500 pounds of crockery. Throwing people about. Mind you, I suppose we've all wanted to do something like that in our time. I'll bet it was pretty satisfying. You've offered no explanation. Wouldn't speak or defend yourself in court. The manager of the wimpy bar where you worked said you'd always been a good worker. The people you worked with found you a bit odd but couldn't quite say why. Tell me, the day you did it, had someone provoked you? Had you been building up resentment about something? Did someone say something? You understand why you're here, don't you? You've been found guilty of willful and malicious damage. But the magistrate has asked for a full medical report, a psychiatric report, before he decides what to do with you. In other words, whether to keep you here in jail or to send you to hospital for treatment. Now, don't you think it's important we try and get it right? You see, if you do need treatment, prison won't do you much good, and if you don't, you could find yourself in a mental hospital. This is only a preliminary interview. But if your silence is intended to make things difficult for everyone, well, it will. But it won't stop me finding out about you. I've got 100 different ways of getting you out of yourself. If you're all right, all well and good. But if you do need treatment, I'll find that out too. And I'll promise to help you. All right. That'll be all for today.
Ah, Kate Bonney, isn't it? Does he drive a panda car? Well, what's it all about, then? I see.
Go along then, Kate.
I take it the conversation has been a bit one-sided.
You know perfectly well she hasn't spoken a word to anyone since she came in. I think she's psychopathic.
I don't think so.
What?
Psychopaths rarely have a sense of humor, a straightforward one anyway. She has.
Himmler was known to crack a smile from time to time.
You know very well the kind of thing that made him smile. I did say straightforward. No, I think she's in trouble, but I don't think she's a psychopath.
What then?
I think she's, sociopathic. A victim of society, the kind of society that we live in.
That's a very old-fashioned idea.
So is gravity.
Then I take it that you won't be supporting me in the recommendation I was going to make? That she should be put into Y unit while we're observing her?
No. No, I can't support that. You might just as well throw her into solitary confinement. I think that contact with the other prisoners might draw her out, do her good. They might be able to break through where we can't.
Very well. On your head be it.
Well, you could say it's thick enough.
But hasn't she said anything yet?
Not a word in 24 hours.
Has she given any trouble?
Not physically, no.
In any other way?
Well, no.
Well, what then?
Well, it's just that... Oh, I don't know. It's just that she gives me a funny feeling.
Well, her silence is bound to be unnerving.
Yeah, I dare say it is. Still, it's nothing to worry about. We've had ones like her before.
Today we're going to see how bright you are. Well, that's if you're bright at all. If, of course, you're simply dim, I could be just wasting my time. I've got here some rows of shapes. Now, in each row, there is an odd man out. I want you to take this pen and mark the odd man out. You know, there's an old saying, you can keep your mouth shut and have people merely suspect you're a fool, or open it and remove all possible doubt. You seem to have taken it to heart in every sense. Never mind. The test is too difficult. I can always find you an easier one.
Doctor, if I could just have a quick word with you about Jane Anderson. Oh, sorry, when you've finished.
Yes, I shan't be rushing away.
Hello. What's your name?
Charlie.
Who do you belong to, Charlie?
I belong to Kate. Kate Bonnie.
Does she take you everywhere with her?
Yes,
Oh, she must be very fond of you, then.
she is. And I love her, too.
How long have you two been together?
I've forgotten that.
Well, did someone give you to her, Charlie?
No, she, inherited me.
Oh, who from?
I've forgotten that.
What? You've forgotten who you belonged to before.
I only know Kate. I love Kate. I love her. I never had any before.
Oh, but I would have thought... Well, nice to meet you, Charlie. I'll see you again sometime. Say goodbye to Kate for me.
I'll see you about Anderson later.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Miss Dove. Charlie? Do you like this place?
Not much.
You know why you're here, don't you?
They put us here.
Because of what happened.
That was their fault.
Well, how was it their fault?
They know.
But it was you and Kate who smashed the place up.
Who, me? Can you see a little bear like me putting himself about the place like that? I wouldn't have the nerve.
So you're putting all the blame on Kate, are you? Leaving her in the lurch?
That won't do you no good. You won't split us up that way, will he, Kate?
But you are saying Kate was responsible.
I told you it was their fault.
Well, in what way?
They know.
But I don't know.
Well, you better go and ask them, hadn't you?
Charlie, the manager and staff have been questioned, and they can't account for it. They say there is no reason for Kate doing what she did.
Yes. Well, they'd have to say that, wouldn't they?
But if they won't help me, and you won't help me, how can I help Kate?
You're mixing me up. It makes my little head hurt when you mix me up.
I'm sorry. I'll try not to. Have you got any girlfriends, Charlie?
Only Kate.
And has she got any boyfriends?
Only me.
Are your parents still alive?
Yes, they live in a cave in Manchuria. They're nice.
And what about Kate's parents?
Well, they don't live in a cave in Manchuria.
No, I mean, are they nice? Do you like them?
I don't know.
Why not?
I've never met them.
Well, does Kate like them?
She's never said.
And you've never asked?
No.
Charlie, will you ask her for me now?
I'm tired now. I'm only a very little bear, and I get tired very easily.
All right. That's enough for today. We'll have another chat tomorrow. Ten out of 10.
I'm Charlie. I'm a panda bear.
Are you any relation to Paddington Bear?
Of course not. He's a completely different type of bear. I am much rarer.
Would you like a fag, Charlie?
No, thanks. I don't smoke. But Kate would like one.
Oh, here, Charlie! Do you want to give her a light and all,
No, thanks. Panda bears are afraid of fire. You do it.
All right, then.
Tell us, Charlie. Why won't your Kate talk for herself?
She's got laryngitis.
No, she hasn't. Of course she hasn't.
She can't have.
Why can't she?
Well, it's obvious, isn't it?
Well, anyway, when I talk, it's as good as Kate talking because I know everything that goes on in her head. Every single thing.
How come, Charlie?
Oh, that would be telling. And if I told you, you'd tell them.
Tell who?
And that would be telling, too.
It's the first time I've ever had a bear playing gooseberry in my relationship with a patient.
I've heard about Charlie. He's famous right through the building.
Well, it was Dav who first showed me how I could use him.
Dav Wood. She's uncanny with people like that.
Well, that's the whole point. Like what?
Well, retarded. Dav understands because she had a mentally deficient brother.
But that's not what's wrong with Kate Bonney.
Well, what is it, then?
Well, that's what I rather want you to help me find out. She's so cagey with me. Even on the routine preliminary questions, she blocks me on them. Her family, her background, what her fundamental relationships were like, I mean with her parents. I can't even get to square one.
And that's where I come in, I take it.
Oh, would you, Liz? I know it's a bit of a liberty, but if you could do some probing. I can't tell you what it's like in this job to see pain and not do anything about it just because you can't get near.
I'll do what I can.
Well, you know the kind of thing I'm looking for. You've got a feeling for people.
If you ever think of leaving psychiatry to become a con man, I'll join you.
But I sorted out about your Ken. They said it was tonsils. Every time you get a kid who's a slow grower, you can bet some doctor's going to say tonsils.
Drop that chair, Bonnie. Here, take that girl, put her in her room. Now, stand back, the rest of you, and stop all that noise.
Get Officer Dove.
Charlie doesn't like you doing that.
Right, now, don't just stand there gawping. Clear up this mess, will you?
Mrs. Armitage, take her to Y Unit.
Well, you could have been right.
But she must have been provoked in some way.
No, madam, she wasn't. It was a happy table. One minute everything was all right, and the next, Bonnie had gone berserk. I have questioned all the women who were near her, madam, and all the officers who were present. They all confirm that there was no provocation. In all due respect to Dr. Daly and Dr. Mays, I say that she belongs in a mental hospital, not in Stone Park.
Well, to be fair to the doctors, that's what they had to find out, and it is now their view. I take it that's what your report will be recommending to the court, Dr. Daly?
Yes, Governor, with Dr. Mays's full support.
What, in fact, is wrong with her?
The provisional diagnosis is schizophrenia.
I see. And you'll arrange a suitable hospital for the court to send her to?
Well, the local mental hospital for this catchment area would be the obvious choice. Now, the superintendent is coming to see me this afternoon about something else. I'll try and fix it then.
Good. Well, that seems to be that, then. Thank you.
You met Dr. Ains, who runs a mental hospital? No. But I think you should...
Mrs. Armitage.
Well, I'll drop in.
Yes, madam.
You look tired.
Well, my husband wasn't too well last night, madam. I didn't get a lot of sleep.
Oh, I'm sorry. And what happened to you here last night? Couldn't have been amusing.
Well, I have had bigger laughs, madam. Oh, I shall be all right. I'm just getting a bit older, I suppose. I don't bounce back quite as hard as I used to.
Well, that's not true, Mrs. Armitage. But don't push yourself too far.
I won't. Is that all, madam?
Yes. Thank you, Mrs. Armitage.
Thank you for asking, madam.
You know, Peter, I may be drinking this under false pretenses. I can't take her, you know.
Oh, come on.
Well, you know my problem.
Look, this girl is in urgent need of treatment. You can give it to her.
Yes, but she's violent. We can't cope with violent patients. We've got no locks on our door.
Then it's time that you got some.
Well, don't tell me. Tell the system. I didn't invent it. I just administer it.
And will you tell me exactly where Kate Bonney fits into the system?
God knows.
Oh, well, I suppose we'll be left holding the baby as usual.
But, Peter, you've got 3 full-time psychiatrists
Come
working
on,
for
Jack.
you.
You know damn well how those psychiatrists spend most of their time. They are snowed under, making out reports on people that the courts send them, more than 1,000 a year. Each case has to be researched, time spent with the person involved, assessments to be made, the report to be written. They are far too busy to do your work for you as well.
Oh, now, come on, Peter. That's unfair. We do the job we're equipped for. We're not programmed to control violence, that's all. Why don't you try one of the specials?
Yeah.
Anyway, I must go.
Do you want another?
No, thanks, old man. I must be getting back. Look, Peter, you know the system as well as I do. I'm sorry.
Busy?
Yes, but you can come in.
I've done some digging on Kate Bonney. I don't suppose there's much point in all that.
Oh, no, there's every point. Wherever she goes, they're going to need the kind of information I asked you for if they're going to help her. Now, what have you got?
Well, not a tremendous lot so far, but significant, I think. Father a bricklayer, mother a clippy. She was a key-round-the-neck kid. Well, you know the kind of thing. Come home from school, both parents out, let yourself in, smear some jam on a piece of bread and that's your tea. And even when her parents were in, it was nothing but fights between them. And not just words, either. Physical.
What the devil do you mean, not your pigeon? It's your function to take in violent cases. That's what special hospitals are all about. Oh. Oh, I see. The ordinary mental hospitals say that she is too violent for them, but for you, she isn't violent enough. No, she has not been adjudged criminally insane. No, she does not set fire to buildings. She needs help. No, she has not killed anyone yet.
Oh, good. I'm glad I caught you. There's something more about Kate. I got it from a neighbour this afternoon.
Oh, it could be very important now. Mays says he's tried all the hospitals in the area. Nobody is prepared to take her.
Oh. Well, Kate had a little brother. She was 13, he was 4. She adored him. You know the little mother thing girls of that age get. Anyway, she had to be. Nobody else looked after him. He was playing in the street. His father came home drunk in the car, ran him down and killed him. Kate was in the car at the time. The brother's name?
Charlie. Care to come for a drink?
Yes, I'd love to.
There is no point in pursuing it. Nobody is going to take her. Come in.
I've just spoken to the magistrate.
Yes?
I told him the professional opinion of my medical staff was that Kate Bonney needed treatment in a mental hospital and that they'd all refused to take her. And I've confirmed it in writing.
And how did he take it?
Oh, just like the rest of us. At first, disbelief and anger and then finally disgust. He's going to have to sentence her to 6 months in Stone Park instead.
God, it really is sickening.
Now, the next problem is, what are we going to do with her? Will she go to Y Unit or back to the wing? The Bush Telegraph at this place amazes me. The news that Kate Bonney is staying here has already got around, and I've had to accept a deputation from the staff who are very naturally worried about the situation.
And you would like us there to back you up?
Yes. Thank you.
We are sorry for her, madam. She's sick and she needs help. But quite frankly, my officers are not trained to look after insane women. I'm sure you'll understand our concern.
I not only understand it, Mrs. Armitage, I share it. But unfortunately, we're on the hands of a system which is very difficult to understand. It all began with the 1959 Health Act. Dr. Mays, I think perhaps that's your department.
Well, that act, apart from other things, it took all the locks off all the mental hospital doors so that the accent moved away from restraint and security towards more open association, liberal therapy.
Well, not that there's anything wrong with that. All in line with modern thinking.
But then something very simple happened that no one had foreseen. Suddenly there was nowhere to put violent cases like Kate Bonney.
But surely the special hospitals, Rampton, Moss Side, Broadmoor, they're for the violent cases.
No, because they claim that they're only for the proven maniacs, that is, the homicidal, the criminally insane. And anyway, they are so overcrowded that they are down to 18 inches between beds.
It took 2 years before the penny dropped. And then in 1961, the government ordered the regional health authorities to set up secure units for people who fell between the two stools.
Good idea.
Well, it was, wasn't it? Only the health authorities did precisely nothing about it. The problem got worse right through the 60s and early 70s.
Now, finally, in 1974, the government got so alarmed that it pushed the panic button. And it told the regional health authorities that they had to build secure units forthwith. And they even offered them £250,000 each to get on with it.
So where are these secure units?
Nowhere. Because once again, the regional health authorities simply did nothing about it.
And it gets worse. A year later, in 1975, the government offered to pay the costs of running the secure units as well as the capital cost of building
Well,
them.
surely that got things off the ground.
No, it didn't. Once again, nothing whatsoever has been done. The fact is that our colleagues on the National Health Service refuse to budge. They prefer the soft life of dealing with the non-violent cases, and they have washed their hands of the Kate Bonnies of this world, and they have left us to get on with it.
You mean that no one, not all the doctors who've sworn all the oaths, no one is going to take care of Kate Bonnie?
No one.
She just doesn't fit into the system.
Stone Park is where the buck and Kate Bonnie stops.
I'm sorry, madam. I'm afraid I'm not prepared to put my officers at risk. I submit that Kate Bonnie is kept in Y Unit and looked after exclusively by the doctors and nurses.
Mrs. Armitage, you have my assurance.
How is she?
About the same, Doctor.
Thank you. Kate, when you were in court yesterday, you heard the magistrate give you a 6-month sentence. You'll be spending it with us. In here. We'll do our best to help you.
She can't hear you.
Well, I'm sure you'll tell her later.
I don't like football, you know.
Oh? And what do you like?
Why are there no singing birds in here?
Well, there are no singing birds anywhere in Stone Park.
She's not mad, you know.
Have I ever said she was?
The fair maid who the 1st of May goes to the fields at break of day and washes in dew from the hawthorn tree will ever after handsome be. Oh, shut up.
She what?
She can't read all right.
Well, you positive?
I tracked down the girl who used to be her best friend. She told me. She used to fill out forms and things for her. She was the only one who knew.
But I gave her some of those intelligence tests. You know, the non-literate type, because she wasn't talking then, not even through Charlie. She's got an extremely high IQ.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. Her friend says Kate's cunning. The way she managed to hide her illiteracy, she said it was quite incredible.
Well, this could be vital. Now, I wonder who it was who was nearest to Kate when she exploded at supper that night.
Didn't you say it was Mrs. Spencer?
Come on. But you must remember the night Kate exploded.
Shall I ever forget it?
Well, what exactly do you remember?
Coral, don't slop the water. Oh, it's like a bomb. I thought World War III had started.
Yes, but think of the details. It could be very important.
Watch it. Sandra, put your back into it.
Shut your eyes and reconstruct it. What exactly was Kate Bonnie doing just before she went berserk?
Well, she was sitting there having her dinner and playing about with that bear.
Yes, now, anything else?
No, not really. Sandra Miller pointed out something to her in a newspaper.
Well, that's it. That's absolutely it. Well, don't you see? A high intelligence trapped inside a prison of illiteracy. I mean, can you imagine the resentments that must have built up? The frustration?
Yes, I can. That's why I thought it important to tell you as soon as I could.
The girl must have been like a pressure cooker. Someone hands her a newspaper which she can't read. Now, not only does she have her own sense of being shut in, but on top of that, she's in a real prison. I mean, Mays might have been right. It might not be true schizophrenia at all. We might be able to help her. Liz, you're a genius.
thank you.
Now, the first thing we've got to do is teach the girl to read and write. Dady, get me Officer Dove.
No, I won't have it. It's out of the question.
But Dove has the gift. She was the first one to make Kate Bonny say a word. She has a rapport with her.
She had a rapport with someone like that once before, and look what it got her. The scars are still there.
Yes, but the two cases are totally dissimilar.
Kate Bonny's not mentally deficient. She's very sharp.
So are the weapons that she favours.
And who was it who brought her under control on that occasion?
The point is, why was she out of control in the first instance?
Mrs. Armitage, I've explained that. I've told you what I think.
Well, I'm afraid I don't entirely understand what you think. Perhaps I'm a bit thick, or perhaps you're not explaining it too well. Or perhaps you're talking a lot of high-flown rubbish. But I don't see how teaching Kate Bonny to read and write is going to unscramble her mind. And I don't see why it has to be Dove.
All Dr. Deddy is saying, Mrs. Armitage, is that anyone in Kate Bonny's position is bound to feel, well, screwed up.
Mrs. Armitage, the human mind, our personalities are about the most fragile bits of structure that exist. The most easily damaged and warped. I know, I see it in this office every day. I live with it. It's like trying to mend a cobweb. Your fingers feel thick, clumsy. You know you haven't got the right answers, or even half of them. Working in here, I haven't even got the right conditions. I'm groping, trying, doing the best I can. And the reason I go on doing it is that the stupidest human being is a thing of wonder. And to me, there is nothing worse than one that's been crippled. That beautiful mechanism flawed. Once in a while, I manage to make someone well. And believe me, that's the best feeling there is. Now, before she goes too far, I think I can do it with Kate Bonny. But I can't do it on my own. Mrs. Armitage, I need help. I need Dove.
How would you make this teaching her to read and write work?
Well, it would all take place in Y unit, but not with Dove and Bonny locked in a cell or anything like that. No, it would take place in the open, with staff and nurses around. And Dr. Mays and I would supervise it personally.
Dr. Mays supports you in this?
Yes, he does.
Very well, then. But on one condition. That Dove volunteers.
She already has.
That's right, Charlie. Now try this one. C-A-T, C-A-T, cat.
C-A-T, cat.
Good. Now, what about this?
B.
No, not B. Now, that's B, remember? This one's D. D-O-G, D-O-G, dog.
D-O-G, dog.
Good, that's marvellous. Now, what's that? Come on, what are you looking at over there?
Nothing.
Pay attention, Charlie. What's that?
It's a mat, of course.
Right, now, so how's it made up?
M-A-T, mat.
Good, so what's this one again?
C-A-T, cat.
Clever old Charlie. Now, what's that?
M.
No, w.
W-A.
No, not a. Or.
How can it be all when it's and cat and mat?
Because English is a funny old language, that's why. And when a comes before two L's, we say or instead of a. So what is it?
Wall.
And how's it made up?
W-all. W-all. Wall.
So who am I teaching now, you or Charlie?
Me.
Good. That's a big improvement. Not that I don't like Charlie. I think he's a dish. It's just that I find him a bit hard to relate to, if you know what I mean.
How do you spell relate?
Hold on. Let's not try and run before we can walk. And don't ask me how to spell walk either, because that's another nasty one. I can see I'm going to be in dead trouble before I'm through with you.
Oh, it's all right. I'll help you.
Thank you. Kate, what's up?
Oh, nothing. Let's go on.
Working late?
You too.
I saw schoolmistress Dove with her pupil today. They're getting along like gangbusters.
Aren't they, though? You know, I'm not putting down prison officers or the work they do, but I can't help feeling that Dove's wasted here.
She loves her work.
Yes, and that counts for a lot.
And you were right about Kate. She really is very bright.
And she's a quick learner, and that needn't necessarily be the case.
Oh, she must feel wonderful. As if doors are opening for her. Well, you know, remember that film with Ingrid Bergman and Gregory Peck?
No. No, I don't remember that one.
Oh, it was a long time ago. I saw it on the box recently.
I see.
Talking of entertainment... well, we were talking of entertainment, weren't we? I've got these 2 tickets for the festival hall tomorrow night. A friend of mine bought them and now she can't use them. It's Rostropovich. I seem to remember you rather admired him and... well, it just occurred to me.
I'd love to. Eat before or after?
Oh, afterwards, I think, don't you?
Well, I know just the place. Some of the musicians go in there after the concert.
Fine. Well, don't work too late.
I won't.
See you tomorrow, then.
I shall look forward to it.
Please ask Emma, which is the way to the cave in the rocks? I don't know, said the bonbon sorrowfully. Sorrowfully.
Right.
I can't talk. Yes, you can, said Emma. You're talking now. No, I'm not, insisted the bonbon. I can't. And the tears welled up in his eyes as he walked away. That's ridiculous. Even Charlie here knows that's ridiculous.
Well, it's meant to be.
What do they want to go and print stuff like that for?
Well, you laughed, didn't you? It's meant to make you laugh. It's meant to be funny.
Yeah, I suppose it is.
Kate?
You're not feeding me all this crap deliberately, are you?
Well, why would I do that?
I don't know, do I?
Look, Kate, this is the kind of stuff that's available at your level of reading. Now, you find it draggy because it's kid stuff and you're not a kid. But the better you read, the more you'll be able to get into the heavy stuff.
What's in all this for you?
Ah, beats work, doesn't it?
But this is your work.
Thank you, Miss Dove.
See you tomorrow.
I think that'll be enough for today. Happy?
Fine.
No, I think we can do without him. I said, how are you getting along?
Great.
Dove's working out fine, isn't she?
Yeah. If I'd had a teacher like her at school, things might have been a lot different.
Still, you're making up for it now.
Did you know that any part of a potato that's green's poisonous?
No. No, I didn't know that. Where do you get that? Out of one of your books?
Not everything's in books, you know.
No, true.
I'd like to be a civil servant when I get out of here.
Well, you'll have to take exams, A-levels and things.
Why do doctors always wear white coats?
Because it's easy to see when they get dirty.
My ma had the biggest nipples I've ever seen.
Perhaps you should have put her in the Guinness Book of Records.
I'd like some heavier books and a dictionary.
You shall have them. You know, you've set something of a record yourself. The speed you've shown in learning to read.
I'm tired now. I'd like a kip.
All right. I'll see you tomorrow.
And you think she may be blocking?
Well, what do you mean, blocking?
Blocking? It's a psychiatric term. It means hopping about from one unrelated object to the other. It's very common with schizophrenia.
But a lot of people are scatterbrained. They can't all be schizoid.
Miss Dove, does she do it with you?
No, can't say she does. But she does keep turning around as though she feels there's something behind her. Mind you, she's so wrapped up in her reading we don't often talk about much else. But I do know she's got the kind of mind that's interested in everything. Maybe she feels she's missed so much. She doesn't want to get stuck on one subject for too long.
Of course, with someone else, you mightn't even notice it. It's just that with her, you're on the lookout for it. I mean, it's, well, it's like being a hypochondriac for your patient instead of yourself.
Well, they're all possibilities.
Would that be all, Dr. Dady?
Yes, thank you. I am sorry to keep you all so late.
It's all in a good cause. Bye, everyone.
Good night. Yes, well, I'd better be going too. Liz, can I give you a lift?
Oh, thank you, Peter, but Chris and I are going to the theatre. I got hold of some tickets for the National.
Good. Have a good time.
We'd better be moving. We're going to be late.
Yes, Miss Welfare. Very well, Miss Welfare. Anything you say, Miss Welfare.
Hey.
What?
What if someone were to come in?
We're going steady, aren't we? Common interest in ballet, films, music, theatre. Well, come along, we're going to be late.
Hello, sister. What's she got? War and Peace, that should keep you quiet for a bit. Vanity Fair and Wuthering Heights.
I think you choose them by weight.
No, I don't. I've read that one myself. It's terrific. All dark and broody and passionate. You know, where the women wear boots as well as the men.
What about the others? You read them?
Not my style. Too deep. You've overtaken me, Kate. Someone once said it's the most exciting thing that could happen to a teacher. It's only taken you, what, 3 months, 4?
Oh, there's all the rest of it, though. So much I don't know.
Pick it up in no time. Get it all from books. And when you get out of here, there'll be teachers, real ones, at night school, not like me.
They're not getting their hands on me? Teachers? Teachers?
Kate?
Oh, don't mind me. My memories of teachers aren't the sweetest.
Well, there's not much more I can do for you now, is there? Except keep you supplied with your literary fix.
Oh, you do a lot more for me than that. I'll tell you what, though. I'll be getting out of here soon, what with remission. I'd like some books on psychology. See if I can get myself sorted.
Well, see what I can do.
Oh, you idiot. We look like Andy Hardy and his girlfriend.
Andy who?
Oh.
See you later.
Right. Well, there's no law against holding hands, is there?
Not if you're 18, there isn't. You travelling together?
Not that it's any of your business, but no, we did not. We met in the car park. Nobody has ever stayed the night with anybody or anything remotely in that category, if that's what you're implying.
Now, have I said a word?
Your face says as much as news at 10.
Well,
What?
you know what I mean.
I've got work to do.
Liz, he is a lot nearer 18 than you are.
Do you know, if there was an Olympic for tact, you'd be a definite prospect for a medal.
He's very young. He's at the beginning of his career. He's very bright. He is very ambitious. And he doesn't strike me as the type who wants to collect luggage en route.
Oh, I don't think he quite regards me as luggage. A note bag, perhaps, considering my senility.
No, I didn't say that. Anyone can see that he's fond of you.
What a gift you have for the charismatic word. Fond. If you're not careful, you get me all excited.
Yes, but you are all excited. That is the point. Because if anybody is likely to get hurt, it is going to be you.
Don't you think I don't know all that?
Would you like a word of advice?
No.
Exactly.
Morning, Kate.
Morning, Doctor.
Miss Dove says you want some books on psychology.
Yeah. I thought I might get myself sorted out before I go out.
Kate, there's an old story about medical students becoming convinced they've got every new disease they study.
What?
Well, it's the hypochondriac in all of us. You read a medical dictionary, you start getting symptoms.
Don't treat me like an idiot, Doctor.
Now, Kate, I wouldn't dream of doing that.
You're telling me I can't have the books I
I'm
want.
merely giving you my...
Censored.
I'm giving
you
you
don't
my...
want me to know what rubbish
Now
it
you're just
all
being
is.
silly.
And you're in on it. You told him. You snitched.
Kate,
Oh, nobody minded when I was reading harmless bloody crap by Dickens or Dostoevsky. But as soon as I wanted to get into something secret...
The truth is, such books aren't allowed.
The point is, it wouldn't...
Against the regulation.
The point is, it wouldn't help. Could do you more harm than good.
I've been conned. Just like always. Oh, they told me, but I wouldn't listen. Yeah, I know you warned me. But I thought I knew better. Yeah, go on, laugh. You're entitled to that. I deserve it. But this little miss here... Oh, she's good. She had me fooled.
Kate, I swear...
Shut up, Scarface!
It's just you and me again, Charlie. Like always.
Suits me, Kate. That's the way I like it.
They killed you, but they're not going to kill me.
They're not going to kill me again, neither.
Just have to get used to it again. Seal the windows. Make sure they can't get it under the door, down the electric light cord. And we have to make sure we're not followed by those men. And we'll have to write everything down instead of talking. They can even get the vibrations off windows now, you know. And we'll take it in turns to stay awake, and we'll only eat tinned food.
I'm just going to give you a little something to help you.
What? You must think I'm bloody mad! Take your hands off me! Take your hands off me! You freaks! You bastards! You've been planning this all along! You're out to get us! Stop it! Take your hands off me! No! No, stop it! I know! Oh, God, no injections, please! Not my mind! Ah! You go! I'll beat you all! Nobody comes and gets away with his...
It's paraphrenia. Classic.
Which is what?
It's a mixture of paranoia and schizophrenia. And it was there all the time for us to see.
The suspiciousness, hearing things, feeling of persecution.
Which is why she blew up over the newspaper. It wasn't because she couldn't read. It was because she suspected that her neighbor knew she couldn't read and was persecuting her.
Teaching her to read and write only masked things. I'm afraid we were fooling ourselves.
At least you gave her that. Now, what else can you do for her?
Well, I put her on flufenazine. It sometimes helps. But what we need now is time.
She goes out next week.
Governor, I am sure I can cure her. Now, isn't there some possible way we can keep her in?
No, Christopher, there isn't. We've got to live with the fiction that she's a criminal, not a mental patient. This is a jail, not a mental hospital. The minute she served her sentence, I must release her. There are no options.
But we'll be sending an insane girl out into the world.
I know. Tell it to the regional health authorities.
There's still a lot we can do. I can fix her up as an outpatient at the clinic at St. Stephen's.
Liz, she needs intensive psychiatric care. Intensive for a long time.
Home.
Oh, Liz.
That's all your stuff. You just sign here.
That's more than you could do when you came in here. Right.
So never say that prison doesn't do anything for people.
The officer outside will take you to the main gate.
Oh,
Sorry to disturb you, sister, but I ought to get those books back to the library.